Hi Aquarius, and welcome to November 2016 tarot reading, Celtic Guide Tarot, and welcome to my channel. And yes, Aquarius, I'm an Aquarius too, so you know this is a big month for me, but as I look, I've got 5 major arcana out of 10 cards. And I seem to see this every single week for Aquarius, but there's transformation happening here again, and moving from one state to another. To the sea means of it going with the flow. It's with synchronicity. It's about these big patterns of change. And who we are at the moment is the 7 of Cups in November. So for many Aquarius, I think there could be a few choices having to be made and a little bit of confusion. And again with the 7 of Cups, what it generally means is some of these confusion, some of these choices, they aren't that real, they're more sort of phantom or fantasies, but some of these are really genuine, real, grounded offers, and there's quite a bit of confusion going on here. That's what I would say. So when I get my advice when I pull this card is to keep everything grounded, keep everything calm, just you know, just sort of, I'm not too sure. Let's carry on to see what the rest of the cards mean. But choices, some good choices, some not so good. What's crossing us is the 5 of Discs, which means there could be financial obstacles that are in the way of some of the choices we do want to make. For example, a classic example in my life is I want to move, relocate, but I'm trying to gather more finances to do it. That's a classic example of, okay, I haven't quite got everything I need yet to do it. So you're crossed with the 5 of Discs, but for a lot of times this isn't about money at all. It's about feeling a bit out in the cold. It's about, you know, it's also about change, the 5. So if you look, and I'm not sitting still, there's many ways to look at this card. But the way I like to look at it is they're moving. We don't quite know where they're moving to, but they're not standing still. They're in motion. And, you know, trying to find a better life for themselves. But so for some people could just be feeling really unloved this month, alone. For some people this could be financial issues. We've got the holidays coming up. It's a difficult time for an awful lot of people. But can I say, please don't worry, because I've just seen the outcome card, and I'm sorry to say that because I get what this card means to me. I know financially I'm held back from some of the choices I want to make. But for others it could be just not feeling lovable, you know, feeling out in the cold, emotionally, spiritually, this, you know, that thing, not good enough, I'm too fat, everything, all these awful messages we tell ourselves. So yes, I've given you an example what they can mean, but it's what it means to you. So yeah, so you enter November with a Knight of Pentacles. So this is an earth sign person. For some of you, you could be getting an offer made, and it could be anything. Some say it's a pentacle, so it's a pentacle issue, but not necessarily. It could just be an earth sign person that you're spending time with in November. You could become bearing a gift, so it could be new work opportunities, something coming your way that's going to help you out a little bit, Aquarius. I'm not sure. Just pay attention to November to see how things work out. But this Knight could be making an offer to help with this 5. Or this Knight could be one of these cups that the Aquarius is really confused about. I know what this means to me. You just need to look at it and say, I know what that means to me. So yeah, this Knight could be to do with the 7 of Cups, or he could be making an offer. a work offer for you. You then move in, and there's a sort of sense of spending at the beginning of November, the first week or two, maybe quite withdrawn. There's a sense of quite exhaustion here, of having to rest, look after yourself. And maybe we'll see this card differently, but if you look, his hands are in prayer. I never find this a forced withdrawal, but for some people it might be, and that's why you've got the Five of Discs. There's a sense of forced isolation, a sense of being cut off. So I'm going to bear that in mind. For some Aquarians out there could be a feeling of being a bit lonely and a bit separate from other people. At the root of the matter there, you've got the Fool, and this is the unconscious. And I always believe that the root of the matter is the most important issue because it colours everything. And you've got the Fool. So it's a feeling, even though you've got all this going on, which, you know, you've got a challenging, there's a challenging energy here, Aquarius. There's no way around it. It's not the end of the world, but for some, there could be a feeling of loneliness going on here, if not financial issues. At the bottom of the deck, you've got the Fool. So you're feeling carefree, you're feeling... Yeah, basically you're feeling carefree. You're going back to the zero. It's that you've learned so much and you're feeling quite... I almost feel the Fool is that sense of wholeness and that sense of completion. And so you might have this issue going on, but you're not feeling that much fear attached to it by the looks of it. There's a sense of faith. That's what I'm getting. Aquarius, there's a sense of faith that no matter what's going on, everything's going to be okay. And actually it is, Aquarius, going to be okay. So so that sense of care, it's a beautiful card to have at the root, really. And it's a major arcana, which is much stronger than whatever's playing out here with this 5 and this 4. And as the crowning card, which I class as your thinking processes, you've got the Tower, which is in this position. This card means to me liberation. When it's in your thinking process, this is about being liberated from limited thinking patterns, you know, which actually really pairs up with the Fool perfectly. So you're being set free, you're being... the Tower can sometimes be destructive, but not always. And in this position, it almost seems that Aquarius have been liberated from a straitjacket, from a world that was far too small for you, basically, or far too small for me as well. That sense of being liberated, that sense of, oh my gosh, sort of smashing through a limited sense of self in limited life conditions. So there's a sense of moving on, because whatever it is, this 5 of Discs, it's moving on. The 5s are always about change. And this is what's happening. You're being liberated. And at the root of it, you're as free as a bird. That's what I mean. That's what the Tower stands for, liberation here. Because you're getting set free from bondage, basically. So how other people see you is the King of Pentacles, which is quite ironic next to that 5 of Discs. And that's how even though this 5 of Discs is a challenge card, other people are seeing you as the King of Pentacles. The irony is just outstanding, because the King is the authority of the Pentacles. You couldn't get any higher than the King of Pentacles. So it's almost this is a real personal thing you're keeping really private, Aquarius, and others just aren't seeing you that way. I mean, very different, completely different, because people go for advice to the King of Pentacles, but what the King of Pentacles is also very, very slow moving, and I mean he means many things, but it's just very ironic next to this Five of Discs, because this, you know, this guy is about financial prosperity, well-being. So for some, this for some, this Five of Discs, I think, means you might be becoming liberated from this state of being. I am really hoping that's what this is going to mean, because the King of Pentacles wouldn't show up. I think for some there's going to be a liberation from that sense of lack and freedom. You know, for some people, you just wouldn't get, as I said, people see you, the King of Pentacles, people are seeing you as financially really stable. In your environment, you've got the Devil card. Again, the Devil doesn't very much come up in the environment card, and there's a feeling of maybe the environment can be home, it can be work, it can be just anywhere you spend a lot of time. It can be a friendship group even. And the Devil is, so for some Aquarius, it could be a feeling of feeling quite oppressed oppressed within the home situation or within your work situation. There could be, for some of you, there could be someone close to you who's dealing with addiction problems or that feeling of they're out of control. For some of you, you feel bondage, unable to move forward, which could be quite linked to that. There's almost a sense for some people you really want to get you and your loved ones to a better place, but feeling held back from doing it. I don't think you're going to be held back for that long with this Tower and this Fool. I think for some of you, so you want to move forward, and there's a feeling of being held back from moving forward. But for some people, this is also dealing with someone in the work or the home environment who's got addiction problems, who are out of control in some way. Your hopes and fears card is a Judgment card. So you're basically hoping for a rebirth here. And that's what you're going to be getting, is rebirth. So I'm telling you, this, the Fool, the Tower, the King of Pentacles, this other see you. There's something going on that's big, Aquarius, and profound. And I see this rebirth in this reading. There's a end of something, and even though I'm not going to, some of these cards are going to be challenging, it's going to come to an end. You've got Judgment, and your outcome is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a real and definite ending to something. There's definitely a core of difficulty. I see it, I really see it, but the transformation is profound, Aquarius. And the additional guidance is you've got to go with the flow. There's a synchronicity pattern happening here. You might not be able to see it. You're going to have to trust. You're going to have to be like the Fool. And you're going to have to be like the King of Pentacles. You're going to have to trust that that everything's going to be okay. Because I guarantee you it's going to be okay. The rebirth's going to happen. Trust, Aquarius. Synchronicity, trust, go with the flow, imperative. And look out for the weeklies. That might help you and might help me. Massive month ahead, Aquarius. Keep safe and it'll all be okay. It's all going to be good. Okay, bye. Bye.